Welcome to Housing TV News at the top of the hour, coming to you from our studios in the nation's capital, Abuja. I'm Joy Rosso. Our top stories. Uproar in Senate as procedural disputes arise over tax reform bill. House of Reps to summon CBN banks over verified POS operators. FCT Development Commission bill scales second reading at Senate. Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria to establish Digital National Mortgage Assets Registry. On the foreign scene, Egypt's housing minister reviews progress of new Alamine projects. We begin with the Senate. Some lawmakers protested against a motion to suspend its rules and proceedings to allow the chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service, Zaccheaus Adedeji, and the chairman of the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Committee, Taiwo Oyedele, into the Red Chamber. This was after the Senate suspended its rules to admit Adedeji and the consultants into plenary to explain what the tax reform bill entailed. However, before they were admitted, a slight uproar ensued as some lawmakers kicked against the FRS chairs and the consultants' entry to the chamber. Senator Abdul Ningi and Ali Ndume raised an objection over the Senate's decision to suspend the business of the day and entertain a separate matter in spite of its validity.
Mr. Speaker, I read through some of these things and I listened to the leader most appropriately. I don't see anywhere whereby the senators should allow these people to come here and make the kind of interactions they so want. However, committees of the Senate and Appropriation can invite for the interaction of this manner, but not the Senate in session. I think our rule does not cover invitation to consultants or any official of government to come and bring the sentence. I so submit.
Try to use the position of the Senate because the order paper is clear and we have been doing this. I have no problem having them to come here and explain whatever. We have been doing that, but we follow known procedures. And that is if today this thing has to be taken, you now quickly ask for supplementary order paper that will reflect this. And as you say, this is a very, very important matter. It is not a matter that you just come and tell us after we are doing business of the day. Mr. President, you can have your way, but I will have my say. You will have your way, but I can have my say. You can use the gavel, and I will use my voice. This thing is very sensitive. Our people have been dominated by this matter. When you say it's matter of urgent national importance, yes, we do have matters of urgent national importance. But even those matters normally is referred to the next legislative date or another legislative date. Please, I beg you in the name of God, in the name of God, this matter is very, very important to not only us, but Nigerians that we represent. And we swear by Bible and Holy Quran that will represent the interests of the people. These people partially have spoken. The governors, the National Economic Council, and that
you have made your point. Can I respond to you?
You can rule me out of.
Let me respond to you.
Despite their objections, Deputy President of the Senate, Barau Jibrin, who presided over the plenary session, defended the Senate's actions, dismissing concerns as unnecessary rhetoric.
Clamoring for openness in this arrangement. We want to be open. We want Nigerians to know. We want everybody to know what's wrong here. We are trying to make everything open, live. Let everybody listen. The chairman is here. And why are you saying you don't want that to be done? This is wrong. 1B, which
the leader came under. Can you read order 1B for me, please? Can you read order 1B? Okay. Order 1B read as follows. In all cases not provided for in this standing order, or by sectional or other orders or practice of the Senate shall by resolution regulate its procedure. This is what we have just done. This is the resolution that was just passed. You needed to have known what we have done. I therefore roll you out of order.
The heated exchange underscored the growing tension surrounding the tax reform bill, which has drawn widespread public interest and concern over its potential impact on Nigeria's economy. The House of Representatives has mandated its committees on digital and electronic banking, finance, banking regulations, and financial crimes to invite the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria and the group managing directors of all commercial banks and other financial institutions utilizing point-of-sale services to appear before the committees and find immediate and lasting measures over the challenge of verifiable documentation of POS users and report back within 4 legislative weeks. The resolution followed the adoption of a motion on the need to implement verifiable documentation of POS users and fund recipients' identities in Nigeria, moved by Honorable John Okafor at plenary. Okafor noted the increasing challenges posed by the undocumented identities of POS users and fund recipients in Nigeria, leading to opportunities for fraudulent activities within the financial system and the necessity to combat such illicit practices and safeguard the integrity of financial transactions within Nigeria. He informed the House that undocumented POS transactions from both parties create a loophole for fraudulent activities such as identity theft, money laundering, and unauthorized transactions. The Federal Capital Territory Development Commission bill passed a second reading on Wednesday at the Red Chamber of the National Assembly. The sponsor of the bill, Senator Wadada Aliyu, highlighted the significant challenges posed by the rapid growth of Abuja as Nigeria's political and economic center and surrounding towns. According to Aliyu, the bill aims to create a specialized commission tasked with managing the development of satellite towns within a 60-kilometer radius of the FCT's borders. The bill received polarized reactions during the debate, with some senators expressing concerns over funding and the potential duplication of efforts by existing agencies. Presiding over plenary, Deputy President of the Senate, Barau Jibrin, before passing the bill for second reading, stated that the bill will be configured in the committee level before its final passage. The Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Meha, on Wednesday said the livestock sector can boost the economy by 33 trillion naira if fully harnessed. He said this at an inaugural meeting with the House of Representatives Committee on Livestock Development on Tuesday. Meha said once unbundled, the sector has the potential to attract a lot of capital into the country.
We have already carried out a comprehensive assessment of the grazing reserves, stock routes, and dams all over the country. Already we have gotten a total number of 417 grazing reserves across the country, from New Market to Abeokuta, from Sokoto to Calabar. Now, we have found out that only 113 have been gazetted. That is about just 27%. And many of them have facilities that are in disrepair. But we have also commenced the process of evaluating those amenities and facilities and infrastructure to make sure that they are in top shape so that the herders can begin to use them. I also want to say that the Paikom Kore here in Abuja is partially habited by pastoralists, but it's not sufficient enough because the place has been completely overgrazed. Our intention here, Mr. Chairman, Deputy Chairman, distinguished members, is to regrass those grazing reserves, particularly where there are permanent bodies of waters, so that we can irrigate the lands during the dry season. This incentive will make sure that no pastoralist is pushed away from the north to the south. Because the push factor here, Mr. Chairman, Deputy Chairman, distinguished members, is to go to where there are two fundamental incentives. One is grass, the second is water. These are provided where they are. There will be less intention and push to move out. We have also taken inventory of the cattle routes, those coming from outside the country, particularly in the northern part into the country, and those crisscrossing. We have discovered that because of growth of urbanization, town conurbation, infrastructure of roads, etc., many of these routes no longer exist. We intend to work with the respective state governors to make sure that new routes are developed further away from urban centers, and further away from concentration of agricultural activities. However, in the long term, Mr. Chairman, Deputy Chairman, we will need less of those routes because we intend to resettle all the herders gradually. This is a gradual process that will take many years to come, but that is our intention.
While expressing confidence in the capacity of the minister to transform the sector, the chairman of the committee, Honorable Wale Raji, says the transformation in the livestock sector of the country holds a lot of opportunities for job creation and contribution to the economic growth and development in the country.
The only regret is that the creation of the ministry is coming this late. But our consolation is that it is better late than never. And with your wealth of experience as a technocrat and also a practicing farmer, we have no doubt that we have a round peg in round hole. Equally, the permanent secretary, is also an experienced veterinary doctor. So I have no doubt that in terms of human resource, the ministry is set, to achieve the purpose of establishing the ministry.
He, however, warned that the committee will not compromise on its oversight function. Now to Kaduna State, where the State Internal Revenue Service has sealed the premises of 13 companies in the state capital over unpaid land-based revenue amounting to 1.5 billion naira. Speaking to journalists, the legal advisor to the Kaduna State Internal Revenue Service, Aisha Garba, who led the enforcement team, said the sealing of the companies was in line with the powers vested in the service by Section 104 of the Personal Income Tax Act and Section 24, subsections 1, 2, and 3 of the Kaduna State Tax Codification and Consolidation Law 2020 as amended.
It has to do with land use charges. There are so many liabilities and tax defaulters. And as usual, as you all know, we are always law-abiding and we are strictly based on the provisions of the law. We carry on our enforcement based on the provisions of the law. Try not to violate the provisions of the law. So we've done the normal thing, communicated, sent the man notices, which it still yield no any fruit. So at the end of the day, as usual, we normally embark on this kind of enforcement to collect what is due for the state. So the total is about 1.7 billion or thereabouts for the total amount that we want to collect from all the tax defaulters. But for Amdala Hotel that we are carrying the interview inside the premises now is 115 million naira. We've always asked them, we plead with them to please be tax compliance, law compliance, be the good citizens that they should be. Let them always pay what is due for the state. Like land use charges, everybody knows what's the meaning of land use charges. You're expected to pay. You are benefiting from the land, so you have to pay. Air Kagis has failed to do that. Then they will now shift the files to us, and then we will do it. The assessment, everything is raised in Kagis. We are just trying to, do the needful, do the collections, collect the money, collect what is due for the state. But it's Kagis' case.
Among the affected companies, 5 commercial banks, a hotel, filling stations, and an eatery were included in the closure. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 presidential election, Peter Obi, paid a private visit to Kano State APC Chairman A.A. Zara, President of A.A. Zara Foundation International, and APC Kano Central senatorial candidate in the 2023 general election at his Abuja residence on Tuesday. The meeting, which was held under closed doors, lasted for over an hour and may not be unconnected with the state of affairs in the country under the leadership of President Bola Tinubu and a broader effort to engage key stakeholders ahead of the 2027 elections, with particular focus on strengthening ties in northern Nigeria, particularly in Kano State, which plays a crucial role in national politics. Attempts to get both leaders to brief the media on what was discussed behind closed doors, however, proved abortive. However, the visit, which was cordial and respectful, is fueling speculation that Obi views Zaura as a significant ally in his political strategy for the 2027 elections, particularly in building support in northern Nigeria. As the world observes the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women and Girls, a non-governmental organization, Medical Women's Association of Nigeria, has recognized that violence against women and girls remains one of the most prevalent and pervasive human rights violations worldwide. National President of the association, Professor Rosemary Ogu, gave the disclosure during a press briefing to inaugurate the 2024 16 Days of Activism to End Gender-Based Violence. She reveals that 1 in 3 women globally experience physical or sexual intimate partner violence, non-partner sexual violence, or both at least once in their lifetime.
The solution lies in robust responses, holding perpetrators accountable and accelerating action through well-resourced national strategies and increased funding to women's rights movements in the fight against abuse of women and girls, and calling for more action from governments, organizations, and individuals globally to reinforce space for women and girls. P. Promotion of equality through provision of inclusive spaces, empowering women and tackling gender norms. A. Advocating for change through policy making for gender-sensitive law enforcement. C. Creation of supportive environments and structures for survivors. And E. Education and engagement of these women to tackle myths, misconceptions, and stigma. Together, we could amplify our voices and actions towards GBV prevention and its end by increasing our pace to unite survivors.
Veti Agala, National Coordinator, M1, urged governments, communities, and stakeholders to invest in comprehensive strategies that combine prevention, protection, and accountability.
And for us as medical women, we have had to be the first respondents to gender-based violence, because sometimes they're physical, sometimes they're sexual, and at other times they are emotional that require counseling. And what government of the country is doing is to see that health insurance is available to the people of the country, such that you don't just stay at home because you can't afford to pay for a medical intervention. So one of the first places that women, girls, even boys, because we're talking gender-based violence, go to is a health facility. And that's where we come in. So beyond what we do as an NGO, all of us work in one facility or the other, and we do those interventions.
Also speaking, Omosivier Maduka, Director General for Health and Development, Uniport, urged everyone to amplify their voices using hashtag 16 days and to take concrete steps to build a safer world where no woman or girl lives in fear of violence.
We believe that if we can have conversations among students and teaching staff, lecturers, and even the leadership in universities, we can help universities across the country who haven't put policies in place to checkmate sexual harassment to jumpstart that. 1. 2, even universities that have policies in place, many times policies are poorly implemented, and perpetrators are not adequately investigated, and sanctions are not adequately meted out. We want to say that that those scenarios can change.
We'll take a pause here to bring you stories from the build sector. Stay with us.
I would also like to congratulate and commend the organizers of this event, Mr. House himself, who is the driving force behind this project and who is so passionate about providing housing for the masses in Nigeria. I congratulate you. This is a very good event and it should be sustained.
Glad to have you join us back on Housing TV News at the top of the hour. Moving on to the build sector, where the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, FMBN, is taking significant strides to transform the nation's housing sector by establishing a digital national mortgage assets registry. The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of FMBN, Shehu Osidi, revealed this during a meeting with Mark Wingrich, Secretary General of the International Union for Housing Finance, Germany, in Abuja. Osidi described this move as a major step in expanding affordable home ownership opportunities and addressing Nigeria's persistent housing deficit. He also emphasized the importance of the registry in improving mortgage accessibility and aligning Nigeria's housing system with global standards. This initiative follows a directive from the National Council on Land aimed at collating mortgage asset records nationwide, ensuring transparency and efficiency in housing finance. Similarly, in its bid to address the massive housing deficit in the country, the management of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, FMBN, has called for the recapitalization of the bank. The Managing Director CEO of FMBN, Shehu Osidi, made the call while responding to questions from journalists during a courtesy visit by the Secretary General of the International Union for Housing Finance at the headquarters of the bank in Abuja. Osidi said FMBN's capital base of 2.5 billion naira was not enough to effectively resolve Nigeria's housing deficit. He reiterated the need for improved government funding to enable the bank to provide mortgage finances to prospective home owners as well as finance primary mortgage institutions for loan lending. Meanwhile, the Comptroller General of Customs, Adewale Adeniyi, has inaugurated the newly renovated Customs Administrative Building at Tinkan Island Port in Lagos. Speaking during the inauguration on Tuesday at Tinkan, Adeniyi commended the Customs Area Comptroller, Dara Nnadi. He stated that the project will help enhance optimal service to the federal government. The building, which is over 40 years old, was renovated under the supervision of the Customs Area Comptroller, Dara Nnadi. The Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service says it is attending to a fire outbreak at the Radio Nigeria on Plot 35, Ikoyi Road, Ikoyi, Lagos. The agency disclosed this in a statement signed by its director, Margaret Adeshoye, on Wednesday night. Adeshoye said the agency was alerted at about 17:30 hours and had firefighters from Dolphin, Ebute Elefun fire stations as first responders who met the fire well alight due to the substances involved in the material composition of the studio session. Adeshoye, however, assured the public that the collaborative efforts with the Federal Fire Service and other emergency responders, including the Nigerian police, had put the situation under control and confined it to the studio section of the U-shaped one-story building where it emanated. The director added that while the cause of the fire is yet unknown with no report of any casualty, damping down of the fire embers continue. In Abia, the state governor, Dr. Alex Oti, has commissioned the first smart school built by the member representing Arochukwu Ohafia Federal Constituency, Honorable Ibe Okwara Osonwa. Honorable Osonwa had last month hinted that the initiative is born out of passion and concern for the future of youths who will take over the mantle of leadership but needs to be provided with befitting learning space and state-of-the-art technology that would facilitate that and give them focus to achieve their dreams and ambitions as they advance their education. The lawmaker who represents Ohafia Arochukwu Federal Constituency disclosed that the initiative aims to leverage affordable modern technology to enhance the quality of education for students in Ohafia local government area, which marks a significant step toward educational reform, emphasizing the importance of integrating technology into affordable learning environments. According to the lawmaker, the transformation of Ofali Agu Secondary School, Amaipo, Ohafia will incorporate advanced technological tools and resources. The features will include interactive learning systems, computerized boards, high-speed internet access, and solar-powered electricity. This modern infrastructure designed and installed by EQH Wobil Limited will facilitate innovative teaching approaches and enhance the overall educational experience for both students and teachers. The Construction Skills Training and Empowerment Program, CSTEM, has emphasized the pivotal role of artisans in the construction sector and the urgent need for reforms in technical education to enhance skills development across the country. This was the highlight of the 5th Construction Artisans Awards and Skills Expo 2024 with the theme, Breaking Boundaries and Barriers Through Excellent Craftsmanship, which brought industry leaders together to address Nigeria's growing skills gap and the critical need to improve construction standards. Key speakers emphasized the importance of practical industry-relevant training for artisans.
The construction industry is evolving rapidly with the adoption of advanced technologies, sustainable practices, and innovative materials. To keep pace, we must ensure that our artisans are equipped with the knowledge and skills needed to excel in this dynamic environment. Initiatives like the CAA are pivotal in bridging this gap and elevating the standards of craftsmanship in Nigeria.
Today we are glad that many of them have been recognized, and we have a lot of female artisans coming forth in painting and other areas. So we are glad to have them, and we are glad that they are making a lot of impact and making sure that they are globally recognized. So if you are unemployed, I can tell you that within a short spell of under 6 months, you can acquire the relevant skill that will make you to earn 3 times the national minimum wage, over 200-something thousand naira. So we welcome all of you to switch over and know that a lot of jobs are going on now and a lot of opportunities there in the skill sector.
The Construction Artisans Awards is therefore more than just an event. It is a movement. When we started it, our vision was to see to the assessment, certification and recognition of 1 million artisans in the first 5 years. There have been a lot of challenges along the way, but we are getting there. It is a movement to recognize, uplift, and empower artisans while advocating for their role as a cornerstone of national development.
The organizers of the event showcased some of their new programs like iLeap, which represents innovation, learning, employment, and job placement, developed in collaboration with NEPAD to integrate technology into artisan training and certification.
The impact has been tremendous. It's opening up new opportunities for the artisans in their various fields. And the report we are getting is very positive. Of course, more importantly is increasing their consciousness of their place in the society, as well as the need to improve their performance. We are trying to promote lifelong learning and a system of mentorship for the construction industry.
The awards also celebrated artisan excellence, with winners sharing stories of how participation in the CAA transformed their careers.
It's really an honor to receive this award. Well, the third time. it's really a great one that for these 3 times I've been consistent, and it's by God's grace. And from the previous experiences, it has given me the hope of doing more. It has taught me in so many ways things that I don't even know before I came, and it has given me a leverage to partner with some building industries that are top-notchers in the country, and it has also given me that leverage to meet people that I didn't expect that I would meet.
I'm very excited because irrespective of the fact that I was surrounded with guys that were very competent in what they were doing, even though I knew what I was doing, but I was just excited that I won it actually, and all thanks to God Almighty for the knowledge and people that made this competition possible.
It was an experience. I learned a lot. And it taught me a lot. It's not all about doing it your own way. They have a standard of doing things, and when I came to this organization, when I came to this competition, so I was taught to do it rightly on standard base. So I am privileged, at least when I'm going back there to my state, at least I can impart that same knowledge to other artisans that I'm under me.
The Africa Housing Awards 2024 is set to be a landmark event celebrating outstanding achievements and innovation in the housing and construction industry. During an interview with journalists in Abuja, Festus Adebayo, the convener of the awards, revealed that the screening process for nominees would adhere to the highest standards of fairness and transparency. He explained that the Africa Housing Awards was established to spotlight exceptional efforts in the sector and inspire innovation and excellence. Highlighting some of the key categories, Adebayo spoke passionately about their importance and the value they bring to the housing ecosystem. Recognized as the most prestigious dinner and award night in Africa, the event will honor individuals and organizations that have significantly impacted the sector with groundbreaking initiatives and unwavering dedication to solving housing challenges. To wrap up Housing TV news at the top of the hour on the foreign scene, Egypt's Minister of Housing, Utilities and Urban Communities, Sherif El-Shebani, held a comprehensive meeting recently with construction companies involved in the new Al-Amin City projects. The meeting focused on reviewing the status of ongoing construction, expediting progress and addressing any challenges. El-Shebani directed the construction companies to establish clear, detailed timelines for completing residential projects with the highest standards of quality. Ensuring timely delivery of units to buyers, he stressed the importance of swift and coordinated efforts, including increasing labor forces and allocating financial resources in accordance with priorities to finalize facade work, entrances, and landscaping along the main roads. Additionally, he emphasized the need to complete interior finishes within the set deadlines. The minister also reviewed the detailed progress of various residential projects within the New Al-Amin, such as Mazarine, New Al-Amin Development, Latin Quarter, Downtown, Beach Towers, and other key developments, alongside the completion of heritage buildings and other ongoing initiatives in the city. El-Shebani reiterated the ministry's full support for construction companies, urging them to accelerate their work to ensure that all projects are completed on schedule. That's the much we can take on Housing TV news at the top of the hour. Before we go, a quick recap of our top stories. Uproar in Senate as procedural disputes arise over tax reform bill. House of Reps to summon CBN banks over unverified POS operators. FCT Development Commission bill scales second reading at Senate. Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria to establish digital national mortgage asset registry. On the foreign scene, Egypt's housing minister reviews progress of new Al-Amin projects. For more news in the housing sector, subscribe to Housing TV Africa on YouTube and follow Housing TV on all social media platforms. Download the Housing TV Africa mobile app on Google Play Store and Apple Store. My name is Joyce Olsen. Bye for now.
Visit Housing TV Africa on YouTube and click on the subscribe button. Subscribe to Housing TV Africa to stay updated on latest happenings in Nigeria's housing sector. Follow our social media pages, like and share our posts. On Facebook, Housing TV Africa. On Twitter, Housing TV Africa. Instagram, Housing TV Africa.
Housing TV Africa, your first in housing development broadcasting.